fam on Zoom. We bring the whole world right into this room. Every story, every tear, every joke we share, got that joy down in the air. So we sing it everywhere. It's the Bruddc and Kitty Christmas show. Hey! Turn it up, let that good overflow. Talking real life, talking what's going on, but the love of Jesus keep us standing strong. Oh, it's the Bruddc and Kitty Christmas show. Feel that hope in your heart start to glow, from the trending news to the testimonies told. We got that Christmas joy for every soul. From the mamas in the kitchen to the night shift crew, to the folks riding solo need a word brand new. When the world feel heavy, headlines feel wrong, we gon' clap back with a hallelujah song. Every story, every mess that he turned to grace, every shout in this podcast space, put a praise on every place. When I say Bruddc, you said Julie. Bruddc Kitty, Bruddc Kitty. When I say Christmas, y'all say show. Christmas show. Christmas show.
Good afternoon, good people. You're watching the Bruddc and Kitty show. It is nearly Christmas Eve. We're on the eve of Christmas Eve. Kitty, how are we feeling? How's this year been for you?
Ooh.
I feel too jolly. Do you know what? We started really jolly, really upbeat, and now we got to go through. We're gonna go where we're gonna go. But let's
Listen,
start.
Right, 2025 has been an annus horribilis, right, as the Queen said, but it's been positive in some ways. I've forged more of a career with you, and we are pushing forward with that. My children are happy and healthy, and that's all that matters.
Mhm.
And
Well-
we went to the Glamour Awards, and we've started doing more podcasts and everything else. But that girl comes with him.
What have you learned this year? What would you say you've learned? If anything, you could say, I've learned and I'm going to not make the same mistake next year.
Boundaries.
Mm.
Setting boundaries and sticking to them, and it's okay to set boundaries as well. Some people are like, well, I don't agree with that. Well, that's fine. These are my boundaries. I'm sticking to them, and you don't have to, but it means that I will pull back off you. I like that, boundaries. And I taught it to my son, which made me feel like I was parenting.
Mm. How did you drop it to him when you were in this teaching moment?
He was having an argument with somebody, and the person was being quite manipulative.
Mm.
And he wanted to shout and scream and rant and rave, and I said, no, there's no point doing that. Set your boundaries. Tell him how you feel. Tell the person how it is, what you want out of this, and if they can't meet you, either negotiate that boundary, or they can't meet you halfway, then you have to remove that person, because these are your boundaries and you want to stick to them. And I felt like a real parent. I was like, it's dead taken. 53 years. I'm an adult. Who knew that would happen? Normally, I'd have just said punch him.
Mm. And if I was to flip the script of myself, what have I learned this year is time. Save your time, because like I said to you, you can be very ambitious and you can think people have your sort of goals and have the same sort of ideas as you and want to go to the same places. But unfortunately, not everyone wants to do that. So you can't push them, and it's best to just save your time really as well. Let people gravitate to you that are actually wanting to be on the bus with you, in the trenches with you, sort of thing, rather than respectfully, some people just they want to do things, they like the thought of it, and then it's like they don't really want to sort of get nose deep into it, and that's fine. But it's just clarity and sort of stuff. You just have to save your time and stuff.
It's that boundary again. Like I say, it's choosing that boundary. I'm choosing people that work the same way that I do. They graft, and I think that's quite healthy.
More people, more killers, more hungry people to bring in, and hopefully by the start of let's say the start of January, that we'll have one or two extra people that are coming in doing the shows with us, just really sort of vibing.
A bit more meat on the bones. I mean, it's fine. The only problem is you and I seem to agree on most things.
I say a lot, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we are very, very similar. but it would be nice to have other people's views, and that's why we always ask people to come in and join us and have a talk. You don't have to have your camera on. We will quite happily just listen to your voice and listen to your stories. So by all means, come and join us and make it. And if you don't feel
Safe, bro.
Right, if you don't feel comfortable, here's my thing. 2026.
Yep. So I watched 2 podcasts. We're going to start this off. I watched 2 podcasts. One of them was Nick Griffin with, I can't remember this guy's name, forgive me. And this is this was the former leader of the BNP, someone that is very much a sort of nationalist, sort of like, a white nationalist, and he sat down with this Muslim guy, and I can't remember his name, it's going to kill me. And they sat and they communicated. They did the first podcast, and they got a lot of stick from social media, from people like Tommy Robinson, obviously, anyone supporting the special place, like, that's what I'll say. They didn't like the idea of the far right talking with the sort of like Islamist groups, they didn't like that, and good clip over here. We're going to jump straight to it, and let's have a look at this. This for me is brilliant.
With all the elites, one of the attractive reasons for mass immigration and for having people like you and me at each other's throats is that if the peasants with the pitchforks are busy hating the peasants with the torches, then no one bothers, or no one is able to resist the exploitation of all the peasants by the elite. So there's that. Then I think, especially with some, possibly even with Gove, with some elements, the fact is that war is big business. Hate is big business. And the idea that nationalists and Muslims can sit down and talk together and reach some agreement, which, if it actually grew, would make wars a harder thing, that's a threat to the military-industrial complex. And the military-industrial complex, particularly the Americans, but also in Britain, just as the Zionist lobby buys politicians, so does the military-industrial complex.
One more quick video.
But as long as our elites carry on smashing up Muslim countries and wrecking them, we're going to end up with more refugees. With the greatest respect to you, I don't want any more Muslims in this country. But of course they're going to come. If they're being in the case of Gaza, you've got a choice of staying there, being blown to pieces, or starved to death. And then in due course, they'll come to the West because...
Yeah. So something that we've been speaking about for ages is that the elites upstairs, with whatever their sort of globalist plan is, they definitely don't want people coming to common ground and speaking with each other. Because even the most biased person can see, right, if we just left these countries alone, we're not going to have all these people coming from those countries. We're not going to have people coming from Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, but even this ultra white nationalist over here is saying he doesn't blame the Muslims for coming over. Their countries are being destroyed by us. So I feel like that's something, this is the common ground that groups need to sort of come together and start making and start sort of, brainstorming.
I can't believe it's come from Nick, right? Because Nick is, in all the years I've not known Nick, but know Nick to be who he is, I never thought I would hear common sense come from him, and that is pure common sense. If we stop invading people, they'll stop running away from their countries and coming into other countries. Simple as. That stops immigration. Simple as. And also, that it was nice to hear 2 people sat and having a conversation, and it was just a conversation. There was no accusations, there was no pointing fingers. It was a conversation that we would have on here with somebody, and just, like you say, common sense. I never ever thought it would be him that would come out with common sense.
It's got to a stage where, like I've been saying, guys, like we've been saying this whole year, people are awake. The people are awake. You cannot kid us anymore. And what's really scary is I know the Jews and the Zionists get blamed for everything. I know they do and stuff. And sometimes you hear it and you think, oh, come on, that can't be right there. But this Palestine action thing for me, that hasn't sat right with me. The fact that all the fact that I think it was it 300 or 200 something MPs voted to make them a terrorist group. That way, all you had to do is hold a sign up saying I support Palestine Action, and then you got arrested. We're seeing 60, 70, 80-year-old. We're seeing veterans be arrested for holding a sign up that says I support Palestine Action. For me, that's scary. That's really, really scary. The fact that, because the accusation is that our politicians are controlled by, by certain people. Let's just say that. That's the accusation. When you see that, yes, I get it. The reason why they said it, because obviously some activists broke into an RAF base, I think it was, and graffitied a plane or something like that. For most people looked at that and they said, even Piers Morgan said, that's vandalism. That's not necessarily terrorism sort of thing. And they're doing it over planes that they're using our taxpayer money for, that we don't want any part. You speak to anyone, even people like Nick Griffin, on extreme far-right people, ultra-white nationalists, they don't want anything to do with these wars in these countries. Nothing to do with them. Let people deal with their own problems in their own countries. Yes, if there's some madness going on, we need to try and help.
We have no right stepping in, and you and I have talked about this, because we were talking about child marriage the other day, and I said, where is your stance on, would we go into this country to stop it? Because that's their beliefs, that they can do that. Would I want to go in? Yes. Should we go in? It's none of our business, really. That's their country, and what we seem to have taken, and the West, let's call it, seem to have taken this moral high ground. And we're saying it's a moral high ground, but the reality is we just want what you've got.
It's financial. It's financial high ground. I'm so glad I'm so glad you're awake, Kitty, with this now.
Yeah, let's call it what it is. It's financial high ground. We want what you've got, but we're gonna wave this hand and take it with this hand, aren't we? That slide of hand.
Classic example is Venezuela right now. It's so bad. I can't see America getting away with this one. I really can't. They are seizing oil tankers. They're openly saying we want regime change in that country. They've got a puppet already in place that wants to sell, that has agreed, if she gets in power, she's going to sell oil to the big companies, i.e. American sort of back companies sort of thing. So we're stealing countries' oil and stuff like this. Even Americans don't want any part of these wars. Even American MAGA people, they're saying we don't want no part in these wars. Everyone is fed up. Everyone with a brain and can see what's on the TV. No one wants anything to do with these wars.
Wasn't Donald Trump's, one of his policies was, I don't want to go to war. Well, I'm sure one of his policies, but while he was running,
that's one of his main policies: America first.
Wars. So here we are starting another one. So I can see why the American public are really, really, really upset by this. Can I just, a side note, I'm quite looking forward to going to the cinema on January the 30th to go and see the Milana. She's bringing out a film documentary of her life as the First Lady. So I'll go and see that, and how she behaves around, and it looks quite good. So, but I can understand why the Americans feel so let down, and it's not as big, but it's very similar to Labour when they said to us, we're not going to raise taxes. They came in, and within 6 months the first thing they've done is raise taxes. You feel very, very let down, especially if you voted. Like you say, there's the Black community, the Mexican community, the Portuguese community, the big communities that are in America feel really, really let down, because now all of a sudden they've got ice on their tail chasing them. And he promised that, vote for me and everything will be fine. It's let a lot of people down.
What did you hear about the veteran? Well, not the army. Everyone in the military in America, they got a bonus check just before Christmas. It was about $2,000. Everyone got one. A lot of people are saying this is blood money. This is kind of like hush money. But £2,000 before Christmas for every veteran, for everyone serving in the military. You can see why people are happy, but
I see why they're happy, but what is it for? I'm one of those people. You give me with something, I want to know what's going off in this hand. I think it's part of that way.
Is it blind loyalty? Just follow us, just take your gun and go in there and just do it. To be compliant, basically.
I think it is. To me, it smells of, guess what? We're going to give you this, but after Christmas, guess where you're going? You're going out to the Middle East, and you're gonna start, or you're going out to Venezuela, or you're going somewhere. This is the and there's TikToks I've watched, right? And there was this girl in the military, and she was like, I don't care what anyone says. I've just got this great meal from the military, and it was steak and eggs and whatever and lobster, and everyone's wrote underneath, you're getting deployed. That's the meal they give you before you get deployed.
You're fattening you up.
So is this the deployed payment? That's what I'm thinking. Is this that you are going to war? Hey,
It seems like it's a very good chance of it. And what Nick Griffin is actually saying is that there are interests out there, people like Elon Musk as well, trying to stoke up like violence in this country, this civil war, and all the rest of it. Ant Middleton, he was on a podcast recently, a very interesting little podcast. I'll put this video on, and he had some thoughts. So let's have a little listen.
Where that suppression is coming from. But Elon Musk recently says he believes civil war in the UK is very close. You said we're on anger and teetering on the edge. Do you think we're close to civil war?
My ear is very close to the ground. I'm one
because
of the
your
people.
Background.
I'm one of the people, mate. I'm one of the people. Grassrooted. I'm a survivor and thriver. I'm not a politician. I don't, fit up in this sort of trajectory of hierarchy within the government. Not saying that I won't make my way there, because I will. But my ear is very close to the ground, mate. And if I could tell the people how temperamental things are right now in the UK, and if someone gave a certain order, and there's a few influential people at ground level, I'm not talking about government, politics, media, MOD, I'm talking about ground level. If we gave a certain order, all hell would erupt in the UK.
Did you?
Wow. This is what because he tries to make out. He says if someone gave a certain order, and then he said we. He said, and it also just after that he says the troops are aligned with these people. It kind of sounded like treason to me. It kind of sounded like treason to me. And bottom line, Nick Griffin and that guy, they spoke about this as well, and they kind of shut it down to the point where they just said, like, there are people that think they're ready for war, think they're ready for civil war, like, and in fact, like one of the examples that they give is they say that all these people that are saying, yeah, we're going to vote for Raj, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. A lot of these people aren't even registered to vote.
Exactly.
They're not even registered to vote, but these are the ones that are going to take their country back.
I'm assuming, and I'm going to assume that the other one is TR, as we know he has a really, really big following, and we know that those two are as tight as a duck's bum. So we know that was quite scary that week.
Yeah.
And for me to have clocked it straight away. I mean, Nick Griffin did actually sort of make a point of that. What I always say is the peasants are revolting. We are going to eventually, and when you said it, if they turn around and say we're going to war with Russia, a lot of us are going to go, no, we're not.
That's it. No one's fighting. Trust me. No one's like even our serving, even like people serving today. We have not fought a war against an equal opponent in years. Like, I don't know how far you want to go back. An equal opponent that's just as capable. Like, if we tried to have a war with China, like their ambassador said, or even Russia, can you imagine what today's people would be feeling if 5,000 Brits were dying every single week, 5,000 dying in gunfights, drone fights, like, an equal opponent that's capable of the same sort of response. Come on, mate. You better be worried, mate.
You go to war with one of them, the other one's coming. I'm telling you.
Exactly. That's a proper war. That's a proper war.
You choose either one of those, and the other one's coming in. They're buddy them two at the moment.
No,
so
we've got a comment here. So what he's talking about is pure anarchy throughout the country. This is what people want. No, I don't know if people. This is where the confusion is. You know, unfortunately, like the Southport riots and all the things that happened after that, what that showed was, what did that show us? It showed that there was angry people from some underprivileged communities. Let's just say, so people with not a lot of financial means. These are the angriest people, the poorest of the poor. These are the people that were breaking shop windows and stealing vapes and cigarettes and all the rest of it. That is what you're gonna see. Like, you know, do you think people with their shit together, people like Ant Middleton, who live in Dubai,
Yeah.
who hates multiculturalism but
Yeah.
lives under Sharia law, do you
Yeah.
think people like that are going to risk everything they've got to start causing anarchy? You are joking. This is what is always going to be the same people, the poorest of the poor with absolutely nothing. You know, these are the people that are going to do crazy shit. And
Yeah.
and as we've seen already, what that's going to do, that's going to get them. A lot of these people are converting to Islam right now in jails, you know, because they've got caught up in this social media bubble where they're saying all sorts of madness on social media and all the rest of it, and saying they want to burn down things and blah blah blah. Like, these are things. This is the problem. I feel like when he said that, like, you know, the ego. I didn't like the ego of him where he think, you know, you're following people that are following you on, like, he's talking about people that are following him on social media, people that are just like, you know, social media keyboard warriors, people that wouldn't say boo to a goose, you know. And often what happens more of the time when people have had enough, it seems to be taken out on some poor helpless woman most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's
Or we'll go towards the Muslim community that have, you know, and I'm talking about the people that are integrated, the people that are living here, they've lived here all their life, but they still choose to follow that faith. And it's wrong. It's wrong to incite that. Now, I sometimes like what Ant Middleton has to say, and I like his thought, you know, the way he thinks. I don't stand by that. I don't stand by we will all go to war because, you know, this is no. And because you have you got children that would be sent to war? Because I've got children of age that would be sent to war. You've got possibly children of coming up of that age. We're not sending them to war. We're not sending them to war. And like Nick Griffin said, it always seems to be what we have to have in this country is we have to have a point of anger. And that's who we sort of
who directs that anger? Who
exactly.
directs that anger?
The elites are pushing us towards.
And what's the elite's special weapon? What did Netanyahu say the other day? The best weapon that you have today from Netanyahu's own mouth is social media influencers.
I know you haven't watched it. You haven't watched the P Diddy thing, have you? There's something in there, and he's talking about it. He says, "I want the dirtiest of the dirt to go in and to change people's opinions of me, but they've got to be, you know, be able to work with the dirtiest of the dirt." And he says there's 7 billion on TikTok, there's this, that. They're not reading the news, they're not watching the news. We need to go in on social media. That tells you, I mean, even if you're not following Netanyahu, you know who P. Diddy is. And if he can manipulate like that, or wants to manipulate like that, that tells you everything. Social media is the new weapon of choice, and that is how they do it. It's scary to think that we are being manipulated by phones.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. The fact that this is what when we went to that Tommy Robinson march, I said to you, I was looking at these young boys' faces, and these boys were in a trance. They were in a trance. Like, some of them, I was looking in their faces, in their eyes, and they were like, yes, yes, yes. Like, this, like just like they wanted to be part of something. Like, you know, they're a bit lost, if you were. Like, you know, they feel lost, and, like, you know, they need a better role model, let's just say.
One of the things I never told you, and I've never said, I started to feel it, and it's one of the reasons I left. I started to feel that, yes, we can do, you know, that because everybody was chanting and singing, and there was a lot of people having fun. I'll be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, it was a bit of a day out sort of thing, and I could see how easy it is to fall into that category of listening to them and getting hyped up. The difference is I've got a brain in my head, and I thought, oh, it's time to leave now because it's getting too much.
Well, there were so many things going on that just people just didn't align with. Like,
So,
one of, like, the hacker was the most
oh,
embarrassing part of everything. Like, everyone was like looking around and they were just like, what the hell is this going on? But then, like, they were just like, and the group of like, they're not united, because you've got people. You got even the nationalists aren't happy with Tommy and Tommy's following, because they seem that they think that the Zionists are up their bums, basically. They think that, like, they think they're
well,
holding.
somebody's paying their wages because
Someone's paying, so of course someone's backing
somebody's
them.
paying their wages. Simple as. Because
I don't know who it is either. I'm not going to insinuate either, but
no, somebody's
yeah,
Tommy couldn't survive without wages from
without
somewhere.
protection. Not even what you could have all the money in the world without, for him to go out to Dubai the other day.
Mm.
He's got to be protected by someone. Someone is definitely protecting him.
Well,
Like,
he was out there with his buddy. It's a fact that he was out there with Ant.
yeah.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm not assuming
Yeah.
that actual fact. He
Yeah.
was at Middleton. So we know that those two are proper close. I mean, he came on later on. I mean, after you left, he came on Ant Middleton and did the whole speech of, we're united, let's get it on. And, also the guy that's running for the next president of Poland, is it the next president?
Yeah, Poland, yeah.
He came on and sort of said the same. It was getting too political for my liking, if you get what I mean. It's one thing to be proud of the country that you are, and it's one thing to want to save the country and save the people.
Yeah.
But I would not be maneuvered like sheep.
Exactly.
Like you say, with a dog whistle.
Exactly.
Into a pen.
You can agree on opinions and stuff like that, but I'm telling you, the ego, like we spoke about it, we are pumping these social media influencers up with so much ego, where they think that they can call for a war, and a war. Like Ant Middleton actually says, if we gave the order, all hell would break loose. What's going to happen when the last time all hell broke loose after something extreme happened? People were breaking shop windows and stealing sweets and stealing shoes and stealing Uggs, stealing food. Like, that's the last time everyone went out of order and tried to risk their life and tried to burn down a hotel with children in it. Like,
this is not the British way. This is not the English way.
Manipulated.
There are better ways to do it.
Yeah.
There are better ways to do it. I am not calling for an
whenever there's a rich person pulling strings and allowing certain things to happen, always think that you're getting screwed somewhere, like, because they have their agenda. Elon Musk probably wants it to become a robot state. Like, there's too many humans, he wants more robots. He wants to sell us his Tesla robots.
I want to ask this question: what right has Elon Musk got to do getting involved in any of our politics? What right has
he's bought a social media platform. He's bought a social media platform, and he's told these people, you can be as vile as you want. You can be as vile as you want, and I'm going to pay you money for it. You can monetize off it. Like, I don't think there's any platform that would let you monetize the kind of content that Elon Musk allows you to monetize.
That's one thing, but I don't want him in my politics. I don't want him.
No one should. But it's greed, you see, because these influencers, because they're getting paid good money from X, they're going to say, no, Elon is the man.
Somebody's just put Elon Musk is the most powerful man on earth, literally.
Yeah, exactly. And do you think you become the most powerful man in the world by being a humanitarian or being a good person? You have to be a cold-hearted savage. You're talking about a man that got rid of 5,000 people just before Christmas so he could put his robots in there. Like, this ain't a man of the people, guys. This ain't a man of the people. And and 50,000 people are gonna lose their jobs again. Like, he ain't a man of the people. He's a man of sow and division. Like, you divide and conquer. He's just part of that elite club,
And eventually he will be the most powerful man on Mars if he gets his own way.
I think China and Russia will deal with him at some stage if he steps out of line too much. I think there's a line. What I liked about China, actually, I don't know if I got this video, but
a wonderful co-host.
No, there's this video I was watching of China, and they were saying China is a communist sort of like state sort of thing, like communism and all the rest of it, like, and they only have one party. But that party, the people can change policies. and he says that in England, in the Western world, they have loads of parties, but the elites dictate the policy to the people. So, like he said, what this guy was saying is not one billionaire can control the country, can influence anyone in China. Like, you know, you'd be chopped up and all the rest of it. Like, you know,
Yeah, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked, dinner.
yeah, for real. AI has gone.
I was
AI
just,
has gone mad. I am guilty of that as well.
we are real. We are real. Yeah, it's quite worrying, isn't it? That possibly, I would say there's about 5 men that are, you know, world domination, whether we like it or not. I know it sounds like some sort of Austin Powers thing, but it is true. You know, these are men that have got that much money. They want to go to Mars. Jeff Bezos has that much money.
Why would you? This
Katy
is what I
Perry-
mean. This is what I mean. This is what I mean, guys. This is what you have to think. Like, you know, Elon Musk. Let's go back to him. Like, you know, he's got all the technology in the world. Like, all the technology in the world. He can put electricity anywhere. He can put phone signals anywhere. He can do anything he wants. He can even send things to Mars. Like, you know, why wouldn't you want to why wouldn't you want to invest in the people, like, you know, help some of these countries, like end poverty, end world hunger, like, you know, and not give all some of these countries need all to start thriving is just technology and professionals. Like, you know, I know South Africa at the minute, there's a big thing where they said, like, you know, they can't grow the country without the sort of white population that's come over there and sort of done their own thing. But the problem with South Africa is, and I've spoken to a lot of South Africans, is they don't. It's corrupt in the sense they won't give the best man the job. They will give it to their friend.
completely corrupt. I
Yeah,
can do that for no,
yeah,
no. You know,
yeah.
it's one of the most corrupt countries ever, and you know there are a few up there, and it's so corrupt, and everything is done by a backhander. I don't care what anyone. By the way, can I just say I'm not suicidal? If anybody, I'm talking about these things, and it's coming out my mouth, and I'm thinking,
I know. We are getting like that as well. We have to be careful. We have to be careful.
yeah, shut up.
We don't have any. We don't have any backers at the minute.
No, we don't. But unfortunately, I don't have any filters either, so I don't
Yeah.
really. You know,
We might have to get a placard that says "We love Israel. We stand with Israel." Or something like that.
or maybe a T-shirt, Bruddc and Kitty heart. You know. Yeah, I just think, you know, people have to open their eyes to the world and how corrupt it is, and how everything is done with backhanders, and they're
But we say that, Kitty. But I have to ask you again, like, you know, me and you, we're genuine people. We want the best, but you kind of tell me, if you got a phone call tomorrow and it said, "I'm going to start paying you £100,000 a month to start pushing certain types of content." Trust me, this is what I mean. It's hard. It's really hard. Like, you know, and especially if you're pot committed, maybe what, like, normally, like we spoke about that trick that they do to the prison service guys. They give them £1,000 to deliver a message, and then they say, "Right, we own you now. You got to do everything we tell you." Like, you know, so it's kind of like one of those situations where people get dragged in.
Hey, they'd have me within 5 minutes because my background is not the greatest, and you know, but I'm always. I would like to say, realistically, I probably would take the money, but moralistically, I'd like to think that I wouldn't, unless something that I actually believed in. If I believed in it, I'd happily take the money. But if I don't believe in it, it's going to take you a hell of a lot to get me to change my mind. I'm a woman. We don't do that very often.
Yeah,
we don't unless you buy us handbags.
Yeah.
You know,
you can buy a load of handbags of £100,000 a month.
yeah, you can. But you know what I'm saying. Moralistically, I would like to think that I wouldn't, especially if my own views didn't align with it.
Yeah, you can see. I think you can see people like that as well in the social media. They, like, you know, you can see people that maybe are doing stuff that they don't necessarily really believe. Like, you know, and watching Nick Griffin with his massive U-turn, because, you know, this guy was the leader of the BNP, like, wasn't he? So, like, watching him as well, he seems very sort of. It was very weird to see, but very interesting.
Well, it didn't look forced. It didn't look like I'm saying this because I want to be back in politics. I am going to be. It didn't look forced. It looked like he'd had some sort of epiphany, some sort of road to Damascus moment where he was just like, do you know what? I can see what's happening here.
Yeah.
And maybe him being forced out of politics at some point, or leaving politics when he did, maybe that is it. Maybe that's what's, pushing him. He's seen something, and he's obviously he's witnessed things firsthand more than we have. But like I say, I'm still very shocked that was the U-turn, and to hear it from him, I'm
Yeah.
proud of him actually.
Yeah. Well, I think, so, like you said, selfishly for his own good. If we keep destroying countries, those people are going to keep coming over. Pedro put, how comes Elon's so divisive for a rich man? Like, why is he so divisive, basically, for such a rich man? I don't know. I don't know what pushes him. What I don't know. Like, why wouldn't you want to do more? Why wouldn't you want to do better things with your money rather than going to Mars? Like, he could, Elon Musk right now with his influence, he could potentially go down as one of the all-time great human beings, like great human beings with the stuff that he could do, like, and if every country, but if he wanted to, he could literally go around the world like doing all sorts of madness, like, putting with his technology, like just giving it to people, showing people how to use certain technologies just to sort of build their country up, how to filter, how to build like water, like, filter water and all the rest of it. Not hard, but like with the amount of reach that he has, like, he could do so much, but he wants to go to Mars.
It was Prince William that actually called them out. You know that, don't you? He turned around, and you know how he's got that Earth shot. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, so don't take it word for word, but basically, why would you want to go to Mars when this country is so broken? Let's fix this country before we go to other, let's fix this world before we start going to other worlds, because this one is breaking rapidly. So let's fight. You're talking about a man with a great mind, and he can, like you say, go to Mars and
No, he has the capability of
has
changing,
save the world as such. He could be
literally.
He could be Superman, and he's choosing not to, and that messes with my.
He's choosing to set up. He's choosing to take over X and allow people to monetize off watching people getting their heads blown off. Like,
It's
literally,
terrible.
literally. There are people that post videos of people's heads getting blown off, people getting shot, people getting killed, people getting attacked. No, but this content is monetizable. People are building up followings from it, and especially if they add an angle of some sort of far right to it or far left to it, like, they're doing it, like,
Gotti's actually said, "Do we think the UK laws are, quite too lenient?" I mean, you and I have spoken about this quite a lot, and we think that there is one law.
Good. There's a video. Our laws, America, at least America has the death penalty. But I don't know if you saw that that undercover UPS video on Instagram the other day. Honestly, it literally hurt my heart. I felt like crying. Like, 3 men dressed up as UPS drivers broke into this man's house. This man, his wife, and his 2 children, 2 little toddlers with guns. Bloody killed both the parents. Killed them both. Like, for money. They killed the robbers. Killed the family for money. Like, just killed them. Like, for whatever pocket change they had, they've taken away those 2 children's. It's such a horrible video because there's actual cam footage of them in the house. You can see it, and they're pushing the little kids out the way, and it made me feel sick. And it literally made me feel sick, and rightfully so. The black community, all black influencers that I've seen have come out, and they said these 3 gentlemen need the death penalty. They need the death penalty. Like, so going back to what he's saying about like lenient laws, yeah, for sure. Like, this is why some people might like some parts of Sharia law, and like, I feel like most real people would probably agree with some parts of Sharia law about, like, the punishment for certain crimes.
So maybe that's what we should do. Maybe we should look at all the laws that are around the world, and come together as a group, almost like, the Court of Alexandria, and choose the best bits. And, but then I suppose you're never going to get everybody
without taking away people's rights. And this is a big thing now, without taking away people's rights, it's difficult. But in some of those countries where it's just no nonsense, like, some countries in Asia, if you throw rubbish on the floor, they'd throw you in prison, or they'll beat you. Like, they take pride in their country. Like, I was watching some of these documentaries on Russian train stations. they look like palaces.
Yeah.
They literally look like a work of art. Like, you know, they're beautiful. Like, you know, so in this, like, we need, there needs to be punishment, proper punishment for crimes, and there needs to be more police.
We need more pride in the country. We need more pride. And I'm not talking about white people. I'm not talking about black people. I'm not talking about Asian people. I'm talking about we need pride in this country. We need to bring it back. We need to be happy and healthy where we live. This island is a beautiful island. The weather's shit sometimes, but you know, it is a beautiful island.
Yeah, because
Proud to be here. So, you know, keep it clean.
Yeah.
Let's hurt our neighbours.
Yeah.
And if you go against the fundamental laws of, and the main one, obviously, you and I will always agree on, is if you touch children, you are banged to rights. We've got you on film, we've got you. We don't want you. I also agree with what the black community have done out in America. They've called them guys out, and I think the communities need to stop.
Disgusted. They're just, honestly, I was disgusted. And I saw people with millions of views all saying the same thing. Absolutely disgusted by this.
Maybe this is the step forward. With, like you say, let's weaponize social media. The leaders within the Muslim community, the leaders within the black community, the leaders within the white community, start using these platforms for good and start calling out your own. Don't start pointing fingers at each other and saying it's your fault, it's your fault. Let's start looking inwards. And I feel like I'm on some sort of soapbox.
I've been like that today as well, to be honest, a few times.
Yeah, you know, maybe we need to start looking at ourselves and calling our own communities out, because at the end of the day, the pointing the fingers is what's causing the divide.
See, and this is what's so obvious. Like, you know, when, like, you know, we've already said about the Pakistani groomie gangs and stuff like that. You know, the community should have pulled them out. The police should have used the intelligence they had and arrested everyone's backside. I don't care about being accused of being racist. If we got you, we know, you know, you're going to jail. That's it. We don't give a shit. We don't give a shit. You're going to jail. Like, you know, most people agree on that. And do you think? And when I speak to some of my Muslim friends, when they hear about it, they say to me, look, these people would get the death penalty in our country. If they was in one of our countries, they would get the death penalty for it. There wouldn't be any of this nonsense. Like, you know,
they wouldn't even get a trial.
It gets to a point where there's a corruption element, like, you know, where if you're rich, you can have an island and all the rest of it. Like, you know, we can't get away from it. Like, you know, it's something that this crime against women and children is a man problem. And it's not a poor man problem. It's not a brown man problem. It's not a black man problem. It's not a yellow man problem. It's a man problem that men have. You know, some men have these sick needs and sick desires, you know, and we need to address it for what it is. Like, you know, but if you've got loads of money, you know, you can have an island and you can do whatever you want, and you can bring politicians there, rappers there, all sorts of people there, and have a whale of a time. But as soon as you step out of line politically, you know, guess what? There's a videotape of you.
There's letters from a man called Andrew Mountbatten. There's all sorts.
Oh, good God. I'm not suicidal anyway, guys. I didn't say that. Do you reckon that, what was her name? Virginia, the one that he was meant to, the one that he paid the money to, that he never met.
Yeah,
do you think she was suicidal before she killed herself?
But I also don't think he was the only one she called out. I think, and I do think that's unfair. It's one thing for him to be called out, and he needs to be called out because he's done bad things. But why is nobody else being called out? Because everybody else is just, it seems to be just going over, and everyone just keeps going, Andrew Mountbatten. I'm not calling him Prince Andrew.
Highest profile. I think that's obviously one of the main reasons.
It probably is, but you and I both know that there was a lot bigger profiles on that island. Whether they went back a second time, we don't know. But I just think she may have named other people.
Yeah. I like someone's just put there, we don't want racism in Spain. It's a sickness. People should be judged on as individuals. I can't remember. I don't even know one. I don't want to say it either because I can't remember where it was. It was either Italy. I've seen this video. It's either Italy or Spain, but basically, you know, they've brought in a lot of people from African countries, and there's a lot of crimes going on, like, you know, and it will get to a point where people just start saying, and they have, these groups have risen up and they said, look, we don't, the thing is, they're saying that we don't want these people here, like, you know, and people have a right to want whoever they want in their countries, like, you know. And if they've got people coming over that are committing bad crimes from it, like, it gets to a point where, you know, enough kind of is enough. People do get annoyed, but it all goes back to if helping these people in their countries,
Yeah.
not causing wars, helping them grow. If you do that, guess what? You can take some dividend from them. You can take some dividend from them. You can take some, like, I don't think any country's going to have a problem with you stealing, not stealing, but taking some resources. Like the Venezuela situation. If Trump went there and just done a deal with the sitting president and said, look, we want some of this oil. Like, you know, we want some of this oil. What can we do? Make a deal, rather than saying, guess what? We're gonna create a coup. We're gonna start stealing your oil tankers. Like, you know, we've got a puppet already in place, like Zelensky. Like, you know, look at the state of him. Like what he's done to Ukraine.
Oh, have I just heard that they've called a peace treaty?
I hope so.
Let me just Google it. But I mean, going back to what you said, you see, this would be ideal for someone like Elon Musk to go into like Africa and say, because I know that a lot of the elements that he uses within his, you know,
All of them from Congo, all of them, his test and the poorest and children. They've got, this is the thing, like, you know, where people have got to look at it and say, the price of our lovely society is at the cost of other countries' little children digging away in mines, digging away these, you know, digging away gold mines and all sorts of bits. Like, you know, this is the thing. His Tesla is literally, they need these raw earth minerals, don't they? That he's got a few of them from.
Why isn't he giving back to that country and saying,
Why wouldn't you? Because
Yeah,
this is the sickness. This is the sickness.
Yeah, that would be my mod. You know, that let me do something good for you, and the deal is I take all these things that I need, and I pay you for them. But at the same time, I'm keeping you happy and healthy and whatever to be able to go down. And I'm going to use some of my machines to go in and get the materials and train you all up on it. But no, it's easier to keep the people down, isn't it?
It's sick. Honestly, that is like just the basic common sense of what you just said there. The basics. Like, we're going to take some bits from you. We're going to give you a little something, like, you know, and we're going to give you something. But what they're doing is they're giving them a little bit of something, and they're giving it to them in drips and drabs, rather than they're giving them fish rather than teaching them how to fish. That's probably the best way of putting it.
The thing is, as well, they're also giving it to the corrupt.
And you took the words right out of my mouth. We're right in sync, you are. I was just about to say that. It's like, because, you know, you can't literally go up to a president and go up to someone, you know, and say, look, you know, we're going to steal all your stuff, and we're going to give you £1 billion. You're going to get £1 billion. You know, we're going to put you in power. We're going to give you £1 billion. Going to steal all your shit. Everyone else is going to stay hungry and die and all the rest of it. But you're going to be rich. Your family's going to be rich. But sod the rest of you lot.
So does that not tell everybody that story that Bruddc's just told you? Does that not tell you what he's doing in the UK right now? Does that not tell you he wants something from the UK? He wants something, and he is literally arming people like Ant Middleton and TR, and I've got no problem with some of their idealism. I've got no problem with it. I don't want illegal immigrants in this country. I'm not bothered about immigration and genuine immigration. I'm talking about illegal immigration. I also want tolerance within the country, in the sense of, if you want to believe in that faith and you want to believe in that faith, that's perfectly okay. I am not going to point the finger. Right, I've got that. But does this not tell you what Elon Musk is doing? Elon Musk has chosen to weaponize TR and Ant Middleton. Why? Because they have a following within the people that are on the ground, the people that are of no consequence to Elon Musk whatsoever. Again, I will point out I am not suicidal, because I've heard myself in my head saying what I'm saying and thinking, shut up, Kitty, but I can't. Right? So he's doing something. He's up to something, and I just don't know what. I don't know what it is he gets out of it apart from power.
Do you know what it is as well? I feel like back to what Nick Griffin has said, like, you know, it's becoming very increasingly difficult for the people to get the people to support wars. I think you can get support if you can convince people that these are crazy savages, like the way Donald Trump spoke about the Somalian community and stuff like that, like, you know, dehumanizing people. I feel like that's what you have to do.
Yeah, I totally agree. We know that the biggest business in the world is war.
Hate and war. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you know, and then to dress it up as well. They dress it up as it's a religious war, or it's this war, or it's that war. We have to have a point of hatred, and that's quite upsetting, isn't it? We have to have this point of hatred, and that's how we do it. Just speaking of hatred, Zelensky moves towards demilitarizing zones. That's what I've heard. This
Okay.
the news.
Okay.
So he has demilitarized certain zones within.
Yeah. And the guy, honestly, this is what a puppet looks like. Unfortunately, like that is a classic puppet. Like, I don't know in total how many people have died, but I know it's 5,000 people every single week are dying in this war. People getting pulled off the street and sent to. Imagine us, like, you know, imagine us getting pulled off to. Imagine your son getting pulled into a van. Yeah, go fight. 5,000 people dying every day, and seeing the savagery, what's going on out there, that kind of war, it shouldn't be happening, man.
It shouldn't happen. People's children should not be grabbed off the
Yeah.
streets.
If see, the thing is, if he would have just demilitarized straight away, and everyone would have said, look, like, you know, everyone would have said, look, Ukraine have put their guns down. They're not fighting back. You know, if Russia do anything, then that they are clearly the bad people. You can see it. Like, you know, you can see it as bad. Like,
Yeah.
right or wrong, they're the big gun. They're the big country. Is, you know, unfortunately,
It's always been, isn't it? The big are allowed to pull weight when
yeah,
they.
exactly that. And, you know, it's not right, like, you know, but, you know, do you think how do you think every other country's felt under the wrath of you know, the UK and America and all the rest of it?
Sometimes I think a dictatorship, and that's how I think of places like China and Russia. It's a bit of a dictatorship, but sometimes I think that's what the countries need. They need somebody that has the balls to stand
One
up.
party, like, honestly, one party. Like, I've got to show you this video because I didn't do it justice when I spoke about it earlier.
I genuinely think, and people laugh when I say it, and I know I've said it to you, our last person like that was Margaret Thatcher, that had the balls to stand up and say, this needs to be done, and I need to cut here, there, and everywhere. Look what happened when we went into Iraq. We got rid of Saddam Hussein and we created ISIS. We've removed Gaddafi, you know, and these things are being born of these removals. So I think we have to be very careful what we remove.
Do you think we're a competent army? Do you think we're a competent people in terms of we think things? Do we strategize? So if we do something, the old cause and effect, do we say, guess what? If we do this, this is going to happen? Do you not think that we've got smart people that do that already?
Yeah, I do.
So what does it? So doesn't that not tell you that they kind of already knew what was going to happen? Right, here's a video. 1 second, coming up, because I didn't do this justice. You were talking about a dictatorship, and that's what we need.
That bully was saying to me.
Self for cash. Showing yourself for cash. We're talking hypothetically.
In America, you can change political.
Someone put that in the comment. 1 second.
That's what I'm saying.
Explain what you said there. Anyway, you ready to watch this video? Let's watch this video because this is a good video.
Parties, but you can't change policies. In America, you can change political parties, but you can't change policies. In China, you cannot change the party, but you can change policies.
So in that time, China ceased to be communist. Is that what you're saying?
Well, China is a market economy, and it's a vibrant market economy, but it is not a capitalist country. Here's why. There's no way a group of billionaires could control the Politburo as billionaires control American policymaking. So in China, you have a vibrant market economy, but capital does not rise above political authority. Capital does not have enshrined rights. In America, capital, the interest of capital and capital itself has risen above the American nation. The political authority cannot check the power of capital. And that's why America is a capitalist country, but China is not.
It's very true what he's saying. You know, people are allowed to change their minds. They're allowed to change their views. And you know, countries evolve. And you have to have governments that will evolve with with the country. And I think that's what he's saying. I mean, I might have misconstrued it. You might be able to shed some light,
No,
but that's what.
for me, in hindsight, what he said was, yes, they only have one party. They only have one party, but the policies of the party are dictated by the people,
Yeah.
not by billionaires. In America and in the Western world, billionaires control everything we do. Like, billionaires go big pharma, the war companies, the pharmacy companies, the energy companies. They control us, to the point where they can say, look, we want this group prescribed as a terrorist group, even though they've done no terrorism, they've done some graffiti.
Yeah. The thing is, we need more say in what's happening in our country.
The people, and we'll get it. The people will get it eventually. Oh god, yeah, sorry. Yeah, eventually people will have enough, and it'll be people like Nick Griffin and that Islamist group, Islamist sort of guy, whatever. I can't remember his name. So frustrating. It'll be people like that come together and say, right, let's just start not letting them divide us and conquer us, and start having some conversations. Because I'm telling you, you speak to some people from Muslim faith, and you hear about, when you tell them about these groups of people doing bad things, they've got much worse ideas than you and me that what to do with them. But it's just difficult when it comes from a certain messenger that's tarring the whole religion as the same thing, sort of thing. So
what we need to do, and this is my shout out for 2026, you need to start shouting at your own communities, and we will do the same. The Black communities do the same, the Chinese communities. We need to literally start calling out our own. If you know of bad people, start calling them out. Take them to court. Go march them up to the police station if you have to.
Yeah.
Instead of burying it, call them out.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, if there's any communities, if you've got any sort of doubts,
this is a classic example. We'll just finish with showing this video of a woman walking down.
I will record you. I've got absolutely no crimes in recording you. I've got no crimes recording you. Sorry? She's hitting.
So this lady was hitting a child walking down the road, and then it came out that the child weren't even hers. Her stepson.
Are you okay, baby?
He's got bruises on his face. He's got bruises everywhere. And thank God that these people called her out, followed her. I'm still waiting on the follow-up story, but yeah, we don't need to go too much into it.
I will say this from a person that has survived DV. That poor lad probably got worse when he got home, and that's what frightened me. I would like to hope that maybe somebody stepped in, because that woman was literally didn't want to let that little boy go home with her. But that's what worries me. If people are prone to violence and abuse, it's not if she's doing it in public, what is she doing at home?
That's and she had this horror. I don't know if you saw that scar on her hand when she put her hands near the baby. This woman. Unfortunately, there's some real dysfunctional people, unfortunately, have been through so much trauma, and then they have children, generations of these people having children, and you kind of create people that you wouldn't want to live next door to, unfortunately.
Okay. And these are the people that eventually will get votes, and it's quite scary. And that young lad's going to grow up with so much trauma.
Good. It's really bad, isn't it? It's so you think to yourself, what can we do? But it's like these things are getting passed on. You see, sometimes I have a really bad thought process when I see a woman, and I can already tell that you can know it's horrible to judge people by how they look, but you can see someone and just tell that they're no good, and you think, what guy seriously put a baby in that woman? I do feel like that sometimes. It's bad, but
I go further back than that, and I think, what has she gone through in her life? So if that's acceptable behaviour, so what has she gone through? She's obviously been hit and battered and whatever, or she may be being hit while she's at home. And that's where my thought process, it doesn't excuse her behaviour, but what I'm saying is that's learned behaviour. That's hitting out at somebody. She's seen that from
She's gone through a whole load of trauma. You can just see it in her face already,
you
can't you?
see it in her face and whatever. And I'm not excusing what she's done, because by all means, I wouldn't have let that little boy go with her. I would have been like,
No, for sure. At least one of them actually did follow them. It's bad,
Yeah.
but really they can't. Both got to take accountability. What part did you catch up to, Ro? I don't know what you're bad, but really we're talking about the child things. I don't know.
Yeah. The child thing is it's so scary, in the sense of, that poor boy, what he must be going through, and it breaks my heart. It absolutely breaks my heart. There are some people that grow up within abusive homes that walk away and they say, I am never ever ever going to do that in my life, and they're the people that deserve the pat on the back. But then there are those that grow up in those homes or see those sort of things, and they just think it's acceptable and take it for the next.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
awful.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I spoke to you about this before, about it was something to do with the grooming gang sort of situation, but it was this lady, she done an interview and she was speaking about the grooming gangs and everything, and she was saying that she got taken to these parties by one of her friends and all the worst things were happening to her. They were getting her drunk, all the rest of it. But then she faced a lot of these girls end up facing charges themselves because
They take
knowing this is what really confused me, knowing, and I've done stories with people about this and their friends have stitched them up in exactly the same way, knowing what goes on at these parties. Why would you take a 12-year-old girl to get drunk and
Yeah.
go to these parties? I know she's a victim, she's been through it all, but still it goes back to the whole it happened to me, so it's going to happen to you kind of thing. I was hurt, so I'm going to let you get hurt.
Groomers do, babe. That's how they play with their mind. They pick these people because they're vulnerable, and they pick these people because they can manipulate them. If you bring me this person, I will love you and I will care for you, and I will give you everything you want. And that's how they do it. It's manipulation of the mind. And we spoke about the other day about domestic violence and how it literally has the same pattern. I love you. I won't do it again. I won't do this. And it's that manipulation in the mind where you think, oh, I can save him. And I can save myself. Or, they're going to love this girl just as much as they love me. Because at the time, these young girls didn't realize they were being used.
Surely that is really, you didn't know you're being used when you get taken to a party and 30 men are taking turns on you?
But they're being told they're being loved. They don't know what love is. They've grown up in care.
I know. I don't know. I struggle with this. I really struggle with this one. You said that
My life
they
where
had a child together, but I think I've missed 12 years old now. Wow, missed the story. Oh no, I think you probably came in between two stories, probably.
as well. Can I just say, this is what breaks my heart even more. That child was autistic.
Yeah.
And that broke my heart even more.
Now we're flipping. Now we're going to confuse them again, going back to that story. No, it's fine. It's fine. So our first original video, sorry, buddy, just to explain, our first original video, it was a lady walking down a shopping center, walking down the shops and stuff in the shopping center, and she was seen whacking this little boy, and a lot of people surrounded her and started filming her, and then it came out that it wasn't even her kid. So that's what happened to that. We were waiting on. There's no follow up just yet, but the person recording did say that they were waiting until the police got there. So hopefully that woman got arrested. But it was the kind of woman that looks like she'd gone very run down, I would say. Not trying to disrespect her. And she had 3 children as well. And this is the thing, men out here putting babies in some of these women, I'm just like, you can't do it. Some of these women, you just can't do it. You can just see them. It's going to cause that, or at least if you are going to do it, stand by that woman and be with her, look after her and raise the children properly. They're just, these women are single mums. She had multiple different rape.
Do we take a bet that she probably gets beaten as well?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And self-harm as well. Self-harm. The thing on her hand looks like a self-harm thing where people bite their freaking hands and stuff.
Yeah, Mia does that. She's got
and
really.
and then we pivoted. Then propaganda. We pivoted over just between the stories of like there was this lady that went on a podcast and she was talking about how she got groomed and all the rest of it from a young age. And then what I said to Kitty was, she these men were taking her to a party and sometimes up to 30 men were having their way with her. She was continuing to she brought other young girls to this situation that got into it, and some of these girls have faced prison time for it. Let's be fair. One woman done 2 years. The woman I talk about, I think she done 2 years in prison because
Yeah.
she brought a 12 or a 14-year-old to a party knowing what goes on. And Kitty, you were a bit defensive over it, a bit.
Yeah, no, I had empathy and maybe a little bit of sympathy because these girls probably grew up in care. They had no
Yeah,
idea,
it's care for sure.
and they have no idea what love is, what real love is. I am not making excuses because there is no excuse for taking another child to one of these parties. It's bad enough that it's been done to you. Why would you encourage it to be done to anybody else? But grooming people, and I'm not talking about Asians, I'm talking about men that groom. They coerce and they manipulate the mind, and they tell these young girls that this is love and this is how we show it, and they've not received it because most of them are in care.
Yeah.
And I always say this: it's not an excuse; it's a reason.
Yeah.
It's for taking these people.
Yeah.
People say the same about Usher and Justin Bieber. Usher grew up with the diddler, and then he gave him Justin
Well,
Bieber.
what did he say that himself? Didn't was it? No, it wasn't. Did he? It was Kanye said it, didn't he? He said that he was victims of something, and then
These people, we know that this happens, that people mistake this sex for love. It's not. You can love somebody and not have sex with them.
yeah.
And these are the lessons that we need to teach our children.
Yeah. So I mean, something needs to be done. Something severely needs to be done for these girls in the care sector, and if it's their rights need to be taken away from them, something needs to be done because even that Natasha that we spoke to, she grew up in this care system, and she even quite sadly told me that the person that was abusing her still works in the same care home.
Yeah.
You know.
We had here in Nottingham, we had a really big case where care homes were literally pimping out the kids.
Yeah.
And there was, I think it was the 70s and the 80s, and I know a couple of people that went through that system, and it's horrendous. These are the people that we're trusting to care for our children.
Goes back to that man problem, doesn't it? Again, seems to be the common denominator, and it's a severe problem that
I wouldn't have been able to say it, would I?
No, it's a severe problem that men need to get there. Like, something needs to be done. Like, and one more video quickly, just quickly before we finish here. I know you're in a rush. This one here, this guy talking about sleepovers and stuff like that.
Daughter wants to do a sleepover. I'm like, you're never doing a sleepover. Like, you're never. Like, the statistics on what happens at sleepovers is mind-blowing to me. I don't understand how any father, I'm saying this, I don't understand, and I hope they clip this, I don't understand how any father would ever allow their daughter, knowing what we know now with the data, would ever let their daughter or son go and do a sleepover. I don't care how much you trust someone, I don't care what it is, it takes one time.
And, I've a lot of people used to give me shit for this. I used to be like, nah, no sleepovers. My girls, no sleepovers.
No.
Like, I think my arm got twisted once or twice, maybe.
I would try this with the fact that I know somebody that used to let her daughter go and have a sleepover, and the dad of the friend.
Yeah. As much as you see these people, you think, yeah, I know them, they're nice, la la la. You don't know them, honestly, and it's not even them. Have they got a brother? Have they got a dodgy uncle that comes around? Have they got a dodgy granddad or something like that? Unfortunately, it's men, and these guys, they're not like. Unfortunately, we would love it to just think it's that bearded, horrible person that these people came over. It's men. They come in all like that doctor that was doing it to his child. He drugged them. He literally drugged both of the kids, and one of the kids, thank God, didn't take the medicine. There was a situation where she didn't take the drink that he was giving everyone. She saw everyone passing out, and she calls her mum, and she tells them, and the guy You know, you've got those people with the bunker with children that they're pimping out in the bunker in America. Just it's madness.
It's horrible, and like you say, it's a man problem. But what I was going to say before we started, you know, when you think about these people that are transitioning and they're the dodgy ones, I'm not talking about. Have you always noticed it's men to women?
Yeah.
The ones that are doing it for nefarious reasons, and you know they're going into women's bathrooms and waving things about.
Yep.
It's always men to women. It's never women to men, which goes to prove it's a man problem again.
It is.
It's men. We need to teach, and I'm not saying all men because I know some absolutely wonderful.
It's not all men for sure, but it's very easy to classify as men. Like, you know, it's you look at what boys, even look at young boys. Like, you know, what do they look up to? Men that have loads of women. Like, that's what's looked up to. Women is the currency. Like, you know, it's men. Unfortunately, it's men. Like, you know, and it's probably a lot worse than people actually even think as well.
One of the big problems we've got in this is
women too, but it's women too.
They're being told they're failures. They're being told that if they don't have the car, they don't have the women, they don't have the money, they don't have this, you're a failure. You're not a failure. You're just living a life that's normal. But people are being told that that's not normal anymore. Normal is baby mothers all over the place, loads of money, you know, expensive watches. And these guys are getting so frustrated, and it's being taken out on the weakest.
Yeah, and they, you know, if you don't have anything, you don't have any power, you feel worthless. Like, as a man, a lot of men feel like this. I don't think a lot of people realize a lot of men, if they're not of, like, you know, a certain sort of financial sort of status, like, you know, and they don't have the woman, don't have the kids, don't have the family, these men are just at home, lonely, often living with their parents, like, you know, or living by themselves. They're very, very lonely men, and they, you know, no one's even giving them a time of day. You know, they're very, trust me, they desire power, and they they think to themselves, oh, I'm going to go out and get it, you know.
There's a certain manipulation that men do that I can spot now, and it's taken me 50 years.
Thank you, Pedro. Thank you, Pedro. Mate, Pedro, we've been doing these shows for the last year. It's a very chill chat. We're not on either side, like left, right, whatever. We just call out BS as we see it. Our shows are live on YouTube as well. Bruddc Entertainment and BNK Live on YouTube. You can go back and watch them fully, guys. We normally do like about an hour, but we always get waffling and go on and try to interact with you guys.
Yeah, we usually start on one subject and end up on
Yeah, I know, we bounce a lot. Propaganda came in. Classic example, propaganda came in, then you made it worse, been going back to the one. We were flipping between stories. Did you see the guy at the end of the day trying to argue with a woman to let her into the property? Yes, I've seen that one. There's not many videos I haven't seen. One.
Leave that, and I'm on your start in a minute.
Sorry, where's my solo? So I normally have a solo screen. Kitty has a autistic daughter that sometimes gets in front of the camera, so just bear with me, guys. 1 second.
Thank you. She's done.
She's done? Right, yeah. Okay. No. It's all good. Propaganda. It's all good. It's all good.
She's closing the blinds for me. She likes to see the pretty lights of the Christmas tree. But yeah, what we usually do is we start with an agenda, not an agenda, but you know, we have videos we want you to see, and then before you know it, we're talking about everything and anything, and we just go off on a tangent.
It's a very chill chat, and you can take part, guys. You can take part in the live shows. BNK Live, Bruddc Entertainment. There's always a link in the chat. You can go back and watch all the shows as well. Yeah, Kitty, I think I'm all talked out. I think we both went on our. We both got on our soap. We both got on our soapbox, didn't we, today? A little bit today.
Quite cathartic, actually. You know,
it is our free therapy session. Every free therapy session for ourselves, like, you know, just airing our views and opinions and stuff. Kitty, are you all set for Christmas Eve?
I'm my knickers. No way whatsoever. I've now got to run to Asda and get.
Radio, guys. TikTok. I'm going to say bye to everyone on TikTok. Guys on TikTok, thank you very much for coming in. Peace and love to you guys. BNK Live. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, and Bruddc Entertainment on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, guys. Peace and love you too. Watch all the shows there. Let's end that. Good. And we will end our other one, and we'll end with our Christmas song as well. No, that's not our Christmas song. Where's our Christmas song? It's Christmas time. Oh, we'll just end. We'll just end.